Perpetrators of the genocide against Tutsis here in Rwanda have remained in hiding and on the run all over the world, with the country's National Public Prosecution Authority having issued 1,144 arrest warrants, yet only 23 suspects have been tried in courts abroad for their crimes and another 24 extradited back to Rwanda. Very small numbers when you consider just how many fugitives are still unaccounted for.
Abenshi muri abo bashakishwa baba barageze muri ibyo bihugu ndetse bakabona n'ubwene bw'ibihugu bwabo.
Many of those fugitives now have other nationalities, and it becomes difficult to extradite them under such circumstances. If anything, laws exist to prevent citizens of one country being sent to another to face justice. We have them here too, things to do with extradition. Now, international law dictates that if you do not extradite a suspect, you must take on the responsibility of ensuring that they face justice where they are.
Niba utamwohereje aho yakoreye icyaha bakurikiranwe wowe mukurikirane.
But what can be done when certain countries appear to drag their feet about the whole process or do not even comply?
It's in fact, that's what I actually mentioned this before. Even if there were not any memorandum of understanding or any treaty between a state and another on the extradition, the Genocide Convention itself is enough to require a state to either extradite or try someone who is accused of those international crimes. If they are not doing it, those who are not doing it, they are failing their obligations. There's no question about that. So they are violating the law. But again, then what? When the state is violating the law, then what follows? If a state is violating the law, what would follow is like asking me if this person or this one breaks the law. What should follow is to take an action against that person, a legal action. But again, how many states are ready to take a case before the International Court of Justice? Because that's where it would end. International Court of Justice, that's a different court. That's the UN court. Where a state would bring another state to say that this given state has breached a given obligation. So to answer your question straightly, in a straight way, is that those states which are not doing or which are not either trying those genocide suspects or extraditing them when there is that request, they are breaching the laws. There is no question about that, because it is an international obligation which has become even a customary law, which is binding upon all states. So those which are not doing it, whatever the reason, because it may be because of the politics, it may be because of the lack of interest, or any other reason. So if they are not doing it, they are breaching the law.
Arrests like that of Felicien Kabuga show, however, that countries can work together to bring people to justice.
Ibyo rero nko mu minsi ishize, mu mezi ashize, twari dufite.
In the last few months, we had commissions made up of people that came here to investigate on suspects accused of crimes during the genocide against Tutsis, work with prosecutors in the country, and then prepare reports that can lead to arrests back in their own countries. Many European countries have been making this effort, and at the start of this year came together to organize how they can exchange information on such suspects and track them when they attempt to cross borders from one country to another. And we welcome such efforts and work with such countries.
Ibyo nabyo ni intambwe ikomeye cyane tunishimira. Urebye ibyo bihugu turakorana.
The African Union has called on all countries around the world to work together to bring to justice genocide suspects on the run, and the chairperson of the African Union Commission says the arrest of Felicien Kabuga should act as an incentive for such cooperation. Meanwhile, the chief prosecutor for the International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals says no fugitive should feel safe.
Well, the message to fugitives is, well, there is no safe haven for you. There are people out there looking for you very actively using modern technology, and it can take time, but at the end of the day, we are successful and we can be successful. So, it can take months, it can take years, or it has taken even much longer. I know it's not easy for people to hide, and in this concrete case, he had more than a dozen of different identities he has used in hiding over those many years. But again, if there is strong cooperation, if there are investigators who are looking for them, well, we can prevail. And our message to the remaining fugitives, if ever they are listening and looking at this message, is, well, we are coming for you. We are still investigating. And we have also interesting leads in relation to the other fugitives we are looking for. We are still working on Impirania and Bizimana cases, and there are also a number of leads we are working on. So work goes on, and we will continue hunting those fugitives.
Up until now, the biggest obstacle to bringing all these fugitives to justice appears to be politically motivated decisions on the part of some countries.